Hey everyone, my name is Tracy, and today I want to talk to you about my experience with Geodon, also known as Ziprazidone. It's the generic. First of all, of course, I have to say it, please don't ever make any changes to your medications without the supervision of your doctor. I am not a doctor, I am not a psychiatrist, and I don't know you or your symptoms, so I'm really in the worst place possible to give you medical advice. Beyond that, I know people say that so they don't get sued, but I'm telling you that this drug in particular has some very gnarly withdrawal symptoms, and if you stop taking them, not only will you be in just a whirlwind physically, but you may not be in a place mentally where you can get yourself back on track. So, don't do it. Okay, so let me set the stage. It's 2011. I'm a size 4'6", 100 and... I'm not telling you that. Super skinny though. Super skinny. Working out nonstop, and I started to have some mental anguish. After this goes on for a while, I believed that I was bipolar. And I am. I have bipolarism type 1. But a couple of things, again, wasn't a doctor then either, but one, it runs in my family. And I'm not saying a great aunt that I didn't meet ever. I have living relatives who have struggled with this all of my life and all of their life. So I've seen it firsthand, regularly. 2, I'm a psychology student, or was. I graduated, but my major was psychology. So I'm pretty certain that I was bipolar. So I made a list of psychiatric practices between 8 and 10 one afternoon, and I just called each of them and said, hey, are any of your doctors seeing new patients? And they were not. So that forced me to go to a general practitioner, which for me, in retrospect, is a no. It's a no for me, dog. Terrible idea. Please don't do it unless it's your, last resort. Well, let me tell you why. So I go into this doctor and I say, hey, I'm having XYZ symptoms. I have XYZ medical history. I think that I'm bipolar. So he gives me a worksheet. He gives me a worksheet to self-assess my situation. And if it's not super apparent to those watching, I'm sure that it is, but I'm going to spell it out. If I am having difficulty with reality and I'm having some delusions, maybe I'm not in the best place to tell you if I'm healthy or not, if I'm functional or not. Rate from 1 to 5 if you have trouble with XYZ. But if I think I'm freaking fabulous, no, I'm not having any problems. I don't know what the responses were, but don't ask a mentally ill person to make the call, and don't rely on a worksheet to make the call. If you can't do it yourself, refer them. So after he scored my paper, he said, no, you're not bipolar. You're just depressed. Yay! So he gave me some antidepressants and some anti-anxieties and sent me on my merry little way. Oh. Now, I think you will also see the issue with that, being that I was, and still am, bipolar. When you have super highs and super lows, if you suppress those lows medically, I have nowhere to go but to the freaking moon. And I went so manic, so hard, so fast, that I should have died. I could have killed someone. I could have gone to jail for felonies. And I almost did die. So I was experiencing mixed episodes where you get the worst of both worlds, right? To the point where I was in such dire misery. It hurt to be alive. I had a physical compulsion. I had to kill myself, and I built myself a handy dandy noose. I did end up going to the hospital for suicide watch. My parents asked, okay, do you have to go to the hospital now? Or could you go in like the morning? We can get some of your stuff. And I basically told them, if you do not keep an eye on me through the night, I'm going to kill myself. I will find a way. Don't go to sleep. So we went to the hospital. And afterwards, it was a terrible place to be. Psych ward, certain places are better than others. Some of them were freaking terrible. Afterwards, they assigned me a psychiatrist. And she was very cold and very aloof. She never really addressed my concerns. She always just blew them off. And my experiences with her were basically asking just a handful of questions and then writing a script, and then I leave. So I started to gain weight quickly. And I worked out like minimum 5 days a week. I had that like runner's high. I loved working out. But I was gaining weight fast. And so I talked to the doctor, and she just kind of wrote it off. She said, would you rather be crazy or would you rather be fat? So I didn't bring it up again. I remember a few years later I joined a gym, and I had talked to a customer, at my job, who said that they gained a bunch of weight from, Cymbalta. And so I thought, oh, that's got to be the culprit. Forgot to mention, I was taking 10 pills a day. No lie, 10 pills. So I said, oh, that's got to be the one. So I went to the gym, signed up, and they were trying to sell me on a personal trainer. And so he's asking about like your goals, what's holding you back. And so I told him Cymbalta made me gain 50 pounds. And he laughed in my face. He was kind of a dick about it. And he was like, so Cymbalta will make you gain 3 to 5 pounds of temporary water weight maximum. And I just felt so stupid. I felt very dumb. So I didn't bring it up again. So yeah, I'm in school. I'm taking a class called something about drugs. So we're talking about everything from nicotine to LSD to antipsychotics. And my professor is talking about Geodon. And at the end of, all the wonderful information, he just kind of threw it out there. He said, oh, but a side effect is patients on Geodon tend to gain a very significant amount of weight. Like, they really blow up. Anyway, I went on with the lecture, and I'm just sitting there like, that's the one. So I go to the campus psychiatrist, who was also a jerk. It was really, really rude, to be honest. I told her that I wanted to come off of Geodon. And I don't know, maybe he didn't like me. because I certainly did not like him. He just told me that I couldn't. He said, if you stop taking Geodon, you will have a slow and painful death. So I didn't bring it up again. Actually, I never went back to him because I really did not. He's just very rude and curt with me. Anywho. So I go through different psychiatrists based on where I'm living, what my insurance is like. So more recently, within the last year or two, I spoke to a doctor because we had moved cities. And I told her, and there are other issues with Geodon besides just the rapid weight gain. I will come back to that, I promise. But I told her there are all these side effects that I hate about this drug, and I haven't wanted to take it, but no one will help me come off of it. And she said, whoa. To be honest, I can't believe that they put you on this in the first place, because this is a well-known class that we refer to as weight gainers. She said it was irresponsible of that first doctor, and basically shame on her. She should have known better, the other doctor. Which is 100% true, and it also mirrors what the psychology professor said in his lecture. And then she ended up being unavailable. So same practice, I got a new doctor. And so I told her, hey, I want to come off of Geodon because I hate it so much. And she was like, why did they put you on that? That's like a terrible, terrible drug. It's like, yes, it does, in fact, make you gain so much weight. So much weight. Why did they put you on that? So it's not just hearsay. I heard it from a doctor, a professor of psychology. I've heard it from 2 other doctors, psychiatrists. So it's not hearsay. This is an insane drug. And then the other symptom, and I don't know if it's not necessarily a side effect. It's just how the drug works. At least, I know that some are, different drugs you might have in an extended release, or you might have a lower dose. So I'm not saying that all of them are like this, but everyone that I've ever taken had to be taken with, I think the bottle said like 500 calories. So if I went out to dinner and I forgot my pill bottle at home, and I didn't think about it like, right when I get home, and then it's time for bed, I couldn't sleep without this drug. Could never sleep without it. I could not miss one dose, or I would just up all night. So, I might be lying in bed, and when I realize it's 2 o'clock, it's like, oh man, I forgot to take my pill. So therefore, I get to eat 500 calories worth of who knows what is in the cabinet in the fridge at the time. It's like I don't want to eat a like a second dinner at 2 o'clock in the morning. Like, that's so insane. And then, after I had complained to one of my doctors, she said, oh, you should be good with about 300 calories. You don't have to do the full 5. But it's just like, is it really about the calories? Can I eat a chocolate bar? Or if I eat something bigger, like a salad, but it's lower in calories, like, how does that even work? But regardless, having to take it with food, or it's not properly absorbed. It's not even about like, oh, you're going to have a tummy ache. I can deal with that. But if it's like, if your body does not absorb it, then 1, I wasted my money on the pill. And 2, I would literally, and I sincerely do not recommend this, but what I would do if I took it, but I felt like it wasn't enough calories for some reason, which is really, really stupid thinking on my part, but sometimes I would take it twice. If it's like 4 a.m, I don't know what I did wrong, but I know it has something to do with that pill. so I'm going to take it again. And then I fall like asleep in 30 minutes, so I don't know what the deal was. Anywho, I'm sorry, I digress. I finally came off of the drug. But it wasn't until I had been at my employer for over a year so that I qualified in North Carolina for FMLA. I did not get my full pay, and when I was coming off of it, I felt terrible, like just physically terrible. Mentally, I was having panic attacks just over and over and over throughout the day, just panic attacks all day to the point where I'm just crying all the time, you know. Excuse me. It was not an easy come down. I just felt so bad. Anywho, for those reasons, I would not recommend this drug to anyone. And I realize you're probably not looking at YouTube videos of all of your drugs that you're not even on yet. But if you are on it, or if you've been put in the same situation where you have 10 pills per day, 8 different pills, and you don't know which one is wrecking your body, it's this one. And I talked to a lot of people. I talked to, like, if I went to just like a general practitioner for a physical or just something typical, and I'm telling them about my body issues, like, they couldn't do anything about it. They're like, well, you're gonna have to talk to your psychiatrist. And I guess the one or two main takeaways from this is, one, do not touch this drug with a 10-foot pole. 2, if you are having problems stemming from the drugs that you are taking, or if the drugs you are taking are not taking care of your problems, whatever your issues are, you deserve to be heard. You deserve to be heard. If your doctor is not helpful, if they don't listen to your concerns, if they don't address them, if they don't give you good, solid reasons why you should or should not be taking something, or what the consequences of not taking that drug that you don't want to take, if they aren't there for you, fire them. Because even though they are authority figures, you are paying to see them, are you not? Maybe line somebody else up first who can take care of your needs, because that's very important as well. You need to have a psychiatrist if you have bipolarism. But you can always leave. You can always find a different psychiatrist. So, yep, 10 years later, I am 100 pounds heavier, and I have been off of Geodon for about a year. But I haven't lost any weight. I did do a few bouts of keto, 1 meal a day again, and you know, my weight loss journey is going to look different going out, but that's not what this video is about. If you guys have questions about bipolarism or this drug, I'm going to reiterate, I'm not a psychiatrist, but I will answer them to the best of my ability. Just do not take it as medical advice. It's my personal experience, and it can vary very differently. I vary very, very much from yours. Thank you guys for sitting through this, and I hope that it can just help like one person, because I wish that would have been me. Anywho, y'all have a good day.